Welcome to Mustard Bikes. My name's Mark, and today in the workshop we've got a brand new 2022 Yamaha MT-10 SP. We've got one of our tail tighters we've just finished developing, and we're going to run you through the installation process step by step. Before we get started though, we're going to need some tools. To finish the job, you'll need a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, a 4mm Allen key, a pair of side cutters or scissors, and an 8mm and a 10mm socket or spanner. In the box, you'll find a product card with the details to this video, a base plate, a small bag with nuts and bolts, the tail tidy itself, along with the two arms to support it. In the bag, you'll find 3 cable ties, 2 oval spacers for the indicators, 2 M6 nylock nuts, 4 M6 bolts, and 2 M6 countersunk bolts. Now we've got everything together, we're going to take the key and remove the rider's seat. Remove the tail light cover by removing these 2 screws with a Phillips head screwdriver. To remove the key plate, we need to remove the 4 bolts using an M8 socket. To get access, just gently pull this panel back and then you can get your socket on to the bolts. Undo the 3 plugs that go to the rear fender. You can use your flat blade screwdriver to disconnect the smaller plug. To remove the fender, we need to remove the 4 nuts holding it in place using a 10mm socket. We're going to start with the one in the back here. To get access, just rotate this plug around so you can get your socket. When removing the nuts, just be careful not to drop them down in the bodywork. When we get to the last nut, just hold the rear fender in place so it doesn't fall away. We can then remove the fender, just being careful that we feed all the wiring through. With the fender removed, we can now work at fitting the indicators to the tail tidy. If you're fitting aftermarket indicators, you can skip through the next few steps. To get access to the indicators, we need to disassemble this structure. We're going to start by using our Phillips head screwdriver and removing these 4 screws. We then turn the part over, and we can use our 4mm Allen key to remove the 4 bolts on top. And these come out with the little spacer. And then the rear fender comes apart. Feed all the wiring through this tail piece here. Then to remove the indicators, we take our flat blade screwdriver, and then just under here is a plastic clip. So we pull that clip out, and then we can pull the indicator out. We can then fit this indicator onto the tail tidy. Now when we do that, we just want to make sure that we fit the indicator to the same side that it came out of. To fit the indicator, we need to take our oval spacer and fit that on the base of the indicator here. And that just clips in place like that. And we can then fit that to the tail tidy. Now sometimes you may just need to get your flat blade screwdriver just to help pry this rubber through. With that through, we're going to feed this little keeper plate back and just pop it into place. And then of course, we do the same with the other indicator on the other side. With both indicators installed, we can now assemble the tail tidy with the side arms. You're going to need the side arms, your two countersunk M6 bolts, and your two nylock nuts. We're going to start by fitting the bolt, and then the correct side, followed by the nut. And we're just going to do this up, not completely tight, just enough so that it holds the arm in place. We then do the same with the arm on the other side. We now need to take all this wiring and tidy it up. So you're going to unravel this LED bolt light cable. And then we've got cable ties that came in your kit. Just going to start by getting them loosely where we want them. We'll take one of the cable ties here. We take this extra cable tie here and run it through this little side hole. I'm going to run all the wiring through that cable tie. And then same again with this cable tie up the top here that was pre-fitted. We then take our side cutters and we'll just trim all these tail ends off. We continue now take this assembly and fit it to the bike. For this next step, you're going to need your tail tidy assembly, your cover plate, as well as one of the original nuts and one of the bolts that we supplied in the kit. We're going to start by feeding the wiring through this hole underneath here. We'll then take the cover plate and feed the wiring through the little notch. Then take the bolt, feed it up through two of the matching holes, and just hold it in place by winding on the nut. With the tail tidy in place, we can now fit the remaining bolts. We can then use our 4mm Allen key and 10mm socket to do the 4 bolts up. With the tail tidy fitted, we can now reconnect the indicators and the number plate light. Before we continue, we're just going to take our key, turn on the ignition, and make sure that all our lights are working correctly. So we've got our number plate light, we're going to check our indicators, and I always like to check the brake just in case. Now that everything's working, we can continue with the installation. We're going to start by putting on the key lock plate. Return the key plate to its original position and bolt it in place with the 4 original bolts. And then use the original screws to screw it back in place. Check the alignment of the rear fender. There is a small amount of movement in these 2 bolts. Once it's straight, we can take our Phillips head screwdriver and our 10mm and just tighten these up nice and tight. The last step is to refit the rider's seat and fit your number plate. To use the lock, simply put your key up the rubber grommet here, turn the lock. When you're done, just press on the little rubber grommet to reset the tabs. And that concludes the installation. We hope you've enjoyed this and it's been helpful with your own installation. If you haven't yet purchased our product and you would like to, mustardbikes.com. We have a whole range for a whole range of bikes and we ship worldwide. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, tag us on Instagram, like and subscribe to this video. Thanks for watching, until next time.